You made me the happiest man that day. Tears now, but in that day I literally had those tears in my eyes. My God, my son's really grown up today. So it was the moment. It was the moment.
So that when I first pitched UpswingIt's idea to you, it's been around 2 years right now, I think, to that. What was your response to it?
My response, you made me the happiest man that day. Honestly, I'm telling you. Why? I'll tell you very. See, what you do with a child as a parent, and if that is imbibed in him in a very positive way, it's a great thing for a parent. Okay, and when the child picks it up for himself and for others, he feels it's a great thing. It's a win thing for the parent. You know, you achieved it.
Right.
And I think that was the greatest thing. Not only that, okay, fine, during that time it helped me a lot. Honestly, it helped me a lot in the sense because of that.
You know, about the UpswingIt book.
Yeah,
The book which
yeah,
you created.
yeah. So that helped me a lot. And it helped me in the sense, as you are saying that, okay, fine, I love telling you everything. You never thought that my dad is telling me no, or you know, whatever. I mean, so we were only creating great memories.
Right.
We never were into anything, you know. So the whole thing comes when, you know, you feel something, okay, my dad is not doing this, or blah, blah, blah. So there was, I mean, everything was yes, you know. So it was quite nice. I mean, that's one of the things I think. So that is one of the pillars because of which we have been able to create such fantastic memories, and we are where we are.
Correct.
So it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, it was the happiest moment for me. Yes, indeed. And the other most important thing which made me very happy was, see, you know, you did not only come with me with the idea of UpswingIt. When you came with me with the idea, I was very happy that, okay, fine, son wants to do something.
Right.
It's so amazing. So for a parent, the thought is, okay, fine, he wants to do something, but now it's all about money, finance. So I asked you, how much money do you need?
Yeah.
So that shook me, honestly. It really shook me when you told me that I don't need any money. I said, what? You want to start something and you don't need any money? That's...
Yeah.
And then you told me that I have been preparing for it since last couple of years, maybe, I don't know, a year or two.
Yeah.
And you've been saving money for this particular thing, and when you were checking out also with people how much it's going to cost you and all that, and the day you had it, that is the day you told me this thing you ask any parent, they're going to be thrilled about it. I can't get those tears now, but in that day I literally had those tears in my eyes. My God, my son's really grown up today. So it was the moment. It was the moment. Okay, Madhav, what family values which you have carried forward, and you are really happy that it happened?
So I remember something which Dadaji also used to do, and even you started doing, and I think I'll definitely want to continue this. Is I remember when we used to go to Chittor back in the day. I remember Dadaji would always make it a point, early morning, say around 7 o'clock, and we used to go during the winters because summers in Rajasthan is atrocious. So we used to go during the winters, and he would ensure that we have like those such big flasks full of tea, hot tea made, and we used to take those small cups and go around Rajasthan and just like go around Chittor and just distribute it. And used to like say that go to the station, go wherever you want, but you can't come back with this full. This has to be empty when you come back. And he would always keep those small orange candies also with him to distribute to the kids who used to be in their villages when we used to go sightseeing and all that. And I think that concept of giving is something which is really stuck with me, and I've now started seeing even you do it by keeping those water bottles, something as simple as a water bottle, keeping those 10 rupee Bisleri water bottles at home, and when the courier guys come, giving them, or keeping it in the car and giving it to the beggars on the road. They feel so good. Like I remember once I was giving to the courier person who came, and I gave him this just plain water bottle which was in the fridge, and it was summers that time, so it was quite hot, and I gave him cold water. So his first reaction was he smiled and he said, "Thank you, sir. आप जैसे लोग मिलते नहीं हैं." And I know it sounds preachy, but that felt really good. And I remember telling this to dad that time, because initially I was like, "Why are you doing this?" Because giving a bottle, or just fill water and give it. And then I really felt good that time, and now I've also started doing it. So I think this is something. It's family tradition, but I would want to say this is our family tradition.
I'll say one thing. There are two things which are very important in life, and I've read in quite a few books. People may believe or not. That's a different thing. Your karma, you have to learn it. Whatever is coming is because of the karma, maybe of the previous birth. There's something which can change it for the good, for the better, or make it easier, or maybe from more difficult to less difficult. Is gratitude and giving.
Right.
So these two things one should never. You get an opportunity to it. Express your gratitude, and giving can be not necessarily giving something in kind. It can be, you're wishing someone, or
Right.
helping somebody, giving some time.
Yeah.
So whatever way, so you should always continue that. That's a
Good point. Yeah.
Since in our family, let's talk about family. What is something which is, the things which have evolved, which has affected you and you feel really nice about it?
Okay, so if we talk about our family dynamic, I feel, so I think it's more on how you guys were as parents, or are as parents, at least, so I think it's important to know you had a very friendly approach with us. It was always a friend first, then a father. That's how I would want to put it in a simple way. Whereas mom was very different. She had a more of a helicopter parenting approach, where she always said, "Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that," and she was the one to say no, and she was always the stricter parent, as we can say. And because of her behavior as such, and I don't blame her, that's her style of parenting, and there's nothing wrong with it. It has its pros and cons, but what it did is it kept a very open channel of communication between you and me, which was not there with her at that time. Like, I could openly come up and tell you about my girlfriends, I could openly come up and tell you about what's going on in school, or what my friends are up to, and whatever chaos we've created. If we've done some fun thing in school, I would always come and tell you about it. But mom used to always be, "Oh, how is your class? Is there any homework? Is there any academics? Is there any test coming up?" And I think that has changed, because now what I see her, now even she started to realize that she has to be more open and accepting to kids doing things, and she can't expect the way she was a child, the same way I'll be a child.
Right.
So she started accepting that change, and she's also become chiller in a way, and she's also become more open and more, like, the communication is much easier with her also now, which wasn't the case before. So I think that dynamic of her being more open and more friendly and being more of a friend first then a mother is something I appreciate right now.
Madhav, I'll tell you something. When you mentioned helicopter parenting and you said it's okay what she was, parents have to understand one thing. Of course, the reason Vandana was like that, because she came from that kind of a family, a very spiritual family.
Correct.
There were a lot of restrictions with her,
Correct.
And maybe that is what continues.
Yeah.
And this is what parents have to understand, that continuation has to stop with the times.
Right.
With the times. And the reason you were more open with me was because I was more of a friend to you. I was always there, ready to listen to you without judging you.
Right.
And you were having that fear factor with mom.
Correct.
Because maybe, she will say something, she'll judge me, and she must have already done that.
For sure.
So that is why you felt, nahi yaar, yahan nahi, papa ko bolenge.
Right.
So that happens with all the children. Parents need to understand that do not judge your child when the child is coming and telling you something. Because if you start judging and correcting the child at that moment, the child will stop coming and telling you.
Yeah,
So
I think
this happens,
Yeah, because it can't be like as a child as a child, mother, father both are same. So
Absolutely.
Maybe there have been instances where she has maybe shunned me or reacted in a negative way to what I said, whereas you reacted in a positive way. So it might have created that thing in my head. let's not talk about these things with mom because her reaction will not be what I would expect.
See, what happens is you need to understand one thing. It's like, you're seeing the sun.
Mm-hmm.
There's day one side, night one side.
Mm-hmm.
But the sun is the sun. So for the mother, like what she was doing, she felt she's right.
Right.
And you felt, no, it is not right.
Correct.
So that creates a very big distance.
Correct.
So it is very, very important, whether right or wrong, the child is right or wrong. You need to listen to your child and correct him with some other, some other idea or thought.
Mhm.
But don't just leave it. I mean, maybe you can pick it up some other day.
Right.
And unless and until it is something very crucial. So parents need to understand this because this will take your child either away or bring it closer to you.
Got it.
So this is what happened with us,
Makes
We
sense.
became closer much earlier. Mom is definitely getting closer to you now.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that is what has happened, So parents need to understand this.